Question 1. In Rhode Island, Jennifer's car was hit by an uninsured driver. Her personal auto policy, PAP, includes uninsured motorist coverage, Part C. Which of the following expenses is Jennifer's policy likely to cover? A. The cost of repairing Jennifer's car. B. Jennifer's medical bills from injuries sustained in the accident. C. The uninsured driver's legal fees. D. The cost of a rental car while Jennifer's car is being repaired. Question 2. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under the personal property coverage? Coverage C of a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy. A. Jewelry stolen during a home burglary. B. A laptop damaged by a fire in the home. C. A motor vehicle parked in the driveway. D. Furniture damaged by a burst pipe. Question 3. Mr. Thompson lives in Rhode Island and has a personal umbrella policy in addition to his standard homeowners and auto insurance. Recently, he was involved in a severe car accident where the liability claims exceeded the limits of his auto insurance policy. How does Mr. Thompson's umbrella policy respond in this situation? A. It provides additional coverage only for bodily injury claims. B. It covers the excess liability claims beyond the limits of his auto insurance policy. C. It does not cover auto-related incidents, only home-related claims. D. It provides coverage only after all other policies have been exhausted, including health insurance. Question 4. Which of the following describes the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. Ensuring that the policyholder profits from a loss. B. Restoring the policyholder to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred. C. Allowing the policyholder to receive payment for future potential losses. D. Providing unlimited financial compensation for any type of loss. Question 5. In Rhode Island, what is the primary function of the deductible in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. To reduce the overall premium by the insurer. B. To cover additional living expenses after a loss. C. To provide immediate cash flow to the insured after a loss. D. To encourage the policyholder to take greater care of their property. Question 6. Which coverage part of the personal auto policy, PAP, would cover damages to your vehicle resulting from an accident with a deer? A. Liability coverage, Part of B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured underinsured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Question 7. If a Rhode Island homeowner's policy includes an endorsement for earthquake coverage, what is typically excluded from this coverage? A. Structural damage to the home. B. Personal property damage within the home. C. Exterior landscaping and pools. D. Costs associated with temporary housing. Question 8. Which of the following is a key feature of a personal umbrella policy in Rhode Island? A. It provides first dollar coverage for all types of claims. B. It only covers claims that are excluded by the primary insurance policies. C. It offers excess liability coverage above and beyond the limits of underlying policies. D. It covers all risks without any exclusions or conditions. Question 9. In Rhode Island, what is a primary benefit of obtaining flood insurance through the National Flood Insurance Program and FIP? A. It covers damages from all types of water-related incidents. B. It is typically included in standard homeowners insurance policies. C. It provides government-backed protection against flood damage. D. It eliminates the need for any other type of property insurance. Question 10. Mr. Carter, a resident of Rhode Island, has a homeowner's insurance policy with coverage E for personal liability. He accidentally injures a guest at his home, resulting in significant medical expenses. What will coverage E likely cover? A. The medical expenses and legal fees arising from the injury. B. The cost to repair Mr. Carter's home. C. The cost of Mr. Carter's personal medical bills. D. Only the legal fees, not the medical expenses. Question 11. What is the primary purpose of the weather structures coverage? Coverage B. In a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy. A. To cover the main dwelling and attached structures. B. To cover personal property inside the home. C. To cover structures on the property that are not attached to the main dwelling. D. To cover additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable. Question 12. Which of the following best describes the role of an insurance underwriter in Rhode Island? A. Investigating and settling claims filed by policyholders. B. Selling insurance policies to consumers. C. Evaluating risk and determining the terms and pricing of insurance policies. D. Providing legal advice to policyholders regarding their insurance coverage. Question 13. Which peril is typically excluded from coverage in a standard Rhode Island homeowners insurance policy? A. Fire. B. Theft. C. Flood. D. Vandalism. Question 14. Mr. Smith, a Rhode Island resident, owns a valuable painting worth $50,000. Which type of insurance policy or endorsement should he obtain to ensure full coverage for this painting? A. Personal property coverage under a standard homeowners insurance policy. B. A personal articles floater or valuable personal property endorsement. C. Liability coverage under homeowners insurance policy. D. Medical payments coverage under homeowners insurance policy. Question 15. Under Rhode Island insurance regulations, what is required for an agent to sell personal lines insurance? A. A college degree in finance or business. B. A state-issued insurance license specific to personal lines insurance. C. A minimum of 5 years of experience in the insurance industry. D. Membership in a professional insurance organization. Question 16. In Rhode Island, what does medical payments coverage, Part B, of a personal auto policy typically cover? A. Legal defense costs for an at-fault accident. B. Medical and funeral expenses for the insured and passengers regardless of fault. C. Property damage to the insured's vehicle. D. Lost wages due to injury from an auto accident. Question 17. Which of the following describes the concept of insurable interest in personal lines insurance? A. The policyholder must prove a financial loss at the time of claim. B. The policyholder must have a legitimate interest in the preservation of the insured property or person. C. The insurer must have a financial stake in the policyholder's assets. D. The policyholder must be related by blood to the insured person or property. Question 18. A Rhode Island homeowner has a HO3 policy. Which of the following types of loss would be covered under the policy? A. Earthquake damage to the home. B. Damage to a detached garage from a fallen tree. C. Damage to the homeowner's car in the driveway. D. Flood damage to the basement. Question 19. Which of the following is a common exclusion in inland marine insurance policies in Rhode Island? A. Theft of personal property while traveling. B. Loss due to wear and tear or gradual deterioration. C. Damage to personal property caused by fire. D. Loss due to accidental damage during transport. Question 20. In Rhode Island, how does a personal umbrella policy typically respond when the limits of the underlying homeowners or auto insurance policy are exhausted? A. It only covers new claims made after the underlying limits are reached. B. It provides excess coverage for the remaining liability above the underlying policy limits. C. It replaces the underlying policy and assumes all coverage responsibilities. D. It does not respond until a court judgment is made against the policyholder. Question 21. Which of the following statements about the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, is true for Rhode Island residents? A. NFIP policies are automatically included in standard homeowners insurance. B. NFIP policies provide coverage for both building and contents. C. NFIP policies have no deductible. D. NFIP policies cover damage from all types of water-related incidents. Question 22. Which of the following best describes a split-limit YECA Rhode Island auto insurance policy? A. A single maximum amount payable for any one accident. B. Separate maximum amounts payable for bodily injury per person, bodily injury per accident, and property damage per accident. C. The total coverage limit divided equally among all claimants. D. A fixed amount deductible applied to each claim. Question 23. Which type of homeowners insurance policy provides the broadest coverage for Rhode Island residents dwelling in personal property? A. HO1. B. HO2. C. HO-3. D. HO5. Question 24. Which coverage in a Rhode Island auto insurance policy pays for repairs to your vehicle if you are at fault in an accident? A. Liability coverage, Part B. Medical payments coverage, Part B. C. Uninsured under insured motorist coverage, Part C. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Question 25. In a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy, what does coverage D? Loss of use typically include A. Replacement of damaged personal property, B. Reimbursement for additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable, C. Coverage for injuries to guests on the property, D. Payment for repairs to detached structures. Question 26. Which of the following is an example of a moral hazard in personal lines insurance? A. A homeowner installing a security system to reduce the risk of theft. B. An individual increasing their insurance coverage after purchasing valuable items. C. A policyholder neglecting maintenance on their property because they have comprehensive insurance coverage. D. A driver adhering to speed limits to avoid accidents. Question 27. In Rhode Island, what is the main purpose of an insurance claims adjuster? A. Selling insurance policies to customers. B. Evaluating and processing claims submitted by policyholders. C. Underwriting new insurance applications. D. Providing legal advice on insurance matters. Question 28. Which of the following is NOT typically covered under a standard Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. Theft of personal property. B. Liability for injuries to guests. C. Flood damage to the home. D. Fire damage to the dwelling. Question 29. If a Rhode Island resident wants coverage for their watercraft, which type of policy should they consider? A. Personal auto policy, PAP. B. Homeowner's insurance policy. C. Watercraft insurance policy. D. Personal umbrella policy. Question 30. Which of the following best describes the principle of utmost good faith in personal lines insurance? A. Both the insurer and insured must act honestly and disclose all relevant information. B. The insurer must provide coverage regardless of the information provided by the insured. C. The insured can withhold information if it benefits their premium rate. D. The insurer can change the terms of the policy at any time without notifying the insured. Correct answer. B. Jennifer's medical bills from injuries sustained in the accident. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage, Part C, under a personal auto policy, PAP, is designed to cover the insured's bodily injuries resulting from an accident with an uninsured or hit-and-run driver. This coverage typically pays for medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering due to bodily injury. It does not cover property damage, rental car costs, or the uninsured driver's legal fees. Rhode Island law requires insurers to offer uninsured motorist coverage to protect policyholders in such scenarios. Correct answer. C. A motor vehicle parked in the driveway. Explanation. Personal property coverage. Coverage C. Under a homeowner's insurance policy covers personal belongings within the home, including items such as furniture, electronics, and clothing, against perils like theft, fire, and water damage. However, motor vehicles are specifically excluded from this coverage as they are typically covered under an auto insurance policy. Rhode Island homeowners insurance policies follow standard exclusions similar to those found nationwide, where motor vehicles are not covered under personal property clauses. Relevant law. The exclusions for personal property coverage are outlined in the policy terms and are in line with standard insurance practices, which typically exclude motor vehicles to avoid overlap with auto insurance policies. Correct answer. B. It covers the excess liability claims beyond the limits of his auto insurance policy. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy is designed to provide additional liability coverage beyond the limits of standard homeowners and auto insurance policies. In the event of a severe car accident where the liability claims exceed the limits of the auto insurance, the umbrella policy kicks in to cover the excess liability. This type of policy ensures that the policyholder is protected from significant financial loss due to substantial claims. Rhode Island, like other states, allows for umbrella policies to provide this additional layer of protection. Relevant law. Personal umbrella policies follow the principle of providing excess liability coverage once the underlying policy limits are exhausted. The specifics of the policy are detailed in the terms and conditions provided by the insurer consistent with industry standards. Correct answer. B. Restoring the policyholder to the same financial position they were in before the loss occurred. Explanation. The principle of indemnity in insurance is to make the insured whole again by restoring them to the financial position they were in prior to the loss, without allowing them to profit from the claim. This principle prevents the policyholder from gaining financially and ensures that insurance is used for its intended purpose of risk management and loss mitigation. Relevant law. The principle of indemnity is a foundational concept in insurance law, recognized universally, including under Rhode Island insurance regulations, to ensure fair treatment of both insurers and insureds. Correct answer: A. To reduce the overall premium by the insurer. Explanation: a deductible is the amount the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurance company pays for a covered loss. By accepting a higher deductible, the policyholder can reduce their premium as they assume more of the initial cost of any loss. This structure incentivizes policyholders to prevent minor claims and handle small losses independently. Relevant law. Deductibles are a standard feature in homeowners insurance policies, regulated to ensure clarity and fairness in policy agreements. Rhode Island insurance guidelines require clear disclosure of deductible amounts and their impact on premiums. Correct answer: D. Coverage for damage to your auto, Part D. Explanation: coverage for damage to your auto, Part D, includes collision and comprehensive coverage. Comprehensive coverage under Part D covers losses due to events other than collisions, such as theft, fire, vandalism, and hitting an animal like a deer. This ensures that policyholders are protected against a wide range of potential vehicle damages. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance laws stipulate that comprehensive coverage under Part D of the PAP covers non-collision incidents, providing broader protection for the policyholder's vehicle. Correct answer: C. Exterior landscaping and pools. Explanation: earthquake endorsements typically exclude certain types of property, such as exterior landscaping, pools, and fences, which are considered auxiliary to the primary structure. Coverage usually focuses on the main dwelling and personal property inside the home, as well as additional living expenses if the home becomes uninhabitable. Relevant law. Endorsements and exclusions are detailed in the policy terms and conditions, and Rhode Island insurance guidelines ensure that policyholders are informed about the specific coverages and limitations of their earthquake endorsements. Correct answer: C. It offers excess liability coverage above and beyond the limits of underlying policies. Explanation: a personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage that kicks in when the limits of the underlying homeowner's, auto, or other primary insurance policies are exhausted. It offers broad coverage, including for certain personal liability risks that might not be fully covered by the primary policies, but it does have exclusions and conditions. Relevant law. Personal umbrella policies are governed by state insurance regulations, including those in Rhode Island, which ensure that such policies are structured to provide supplementary protection while maintaining clear exclusions and conditions. Correct answer: C. It provides government-backed protection against flood damage. Explanation: the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, offers flood insurance to homeowners, renters, and businesses in participating communities, providing government-backed protection against flood-related damages. This insurance is essential because standard homeowners insurance policies do not cover flood damage. The NFIP helps manage and mitigate flood risks, providing financial assistance to affected policyholders. Relevant law. The NFIP was established under the National Flood Insurance Act of 1968, and its implementation in Rhode Island ensures that property owners in flood-prone areas have access to necessary coverage. Correct answer: A. The medical expenses and legal fees arising from the injury. Explanation: coverage E. In a homeowner's insurance policy provides personal liability protection for the policyholder. It covers bodily injury or property damage that the insured is legally responsible for, including medical expenses and legal fees if a guest is injured on the insured's property. This coverage helps protect the policyholder from significant financial loss due to personal liability claims. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require homeowners insurance policies to clearly define the scope and limitations of personal liability coverage to ensure policyholders understand their protection and responsibilities. Correct answer: C. To cover structures on the property that are not attached to the main dwelling. Explanation: other structures coverage. Coverage B. provides protection for buildings and structures on the insured property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as detached garages, sheds, and fences. This coverage ensures that these additional structures are protected against covered perils, similar to the main dwelling. Relevant law. Rhode Island homeowners insurance policies follow standard guidelines that include coverage B to protect policyholders' investments in separate structures on their property. Correct answer. C. Evaluating risk in determining the terms and pricing of insurance policies. Explanation. An insurance underwriter is responsible for assessing the risk associated with insuring a person or property and determining the appropriate terms, conditions, and pricing for the insurance policy. Underwriters analyze various factors such as the applicant's history and the specifics of the property or vehicle to make informed decisions that balance the insurer's risk and profitability. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require underwriters to follow state and federal guidelines in their risk assessments to ensure fair and equitable insurance practices. Correct answer. C. Flood. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude coverage for flood damage. This exclusion necessitates a separate flood insurance policy, often provided through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, to protect against flood-related losses. Other common perils, such as fire, theft, and vandalism, are generally covered by standard homeowners policies. Relevant law. The exclusion of flood damage from standard homeowners insurance policies is a common practice nationwide, including in Rhode Island, to delineate coverage boundaries and promote the purchase of specialized flood insurance where needed. Correct answer. B. A personal articles floater or valuable personal property endorsement. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically have limits on the coverage for high-value items such as artwork, jewelry, and collectibles. To ensure full coverage for his valuable painting, Mr. Smith should obtain a personal articles floater or valuable personal property endorsement. This additional coverage provides protection for specific items at their appraised value, covering risks such as theft, loss, and damage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines recommend the use of endorsements or floaters for high-value personal property to ensure comprehensive coverage, as standard policy limits may not adequately protect such items. Correct answer. B. A state-issued insurance license specific to personal lines insurance. Explanation. To sell personal lines insurance in Rhode Island, an agent must obtain a state-issued insurance license specific to personal lines insurance. This involves passing a licensing exam that tests knowledge of insurance principles, state laws, and ethical practices. Licensing ensures that agents are qualified to provide accurate and reliable insurance advice to consumers. Relevant law. Rhode Island General Laws SS 27, 2.4, 3 require insurance agents to be licensed by the state to sell specific types of insurance, including personal lines, ensuring adherence to regulatory standards and protecting consumer interests. Correct answer. B. Medical and funeral expenses for the insured and passengers regardless of fault. Explanation. Medical payments coverage, Part B, of a personal auto policy covers medical and funeral expenses for the insured and their passengers incurred as a result of an auto accident, regardless of who is at fault. This coverage is designed to provide immediate payment for medical costs associated with injuries sustained in an accident. Relevant law. Rhode Island auto insurance regulations require that medical payments coverage be offered to policyholders as part of their auto insurance policy, providing financial assistance for medical expenses without the need to determine fault. Correct answer. B. The policyholder must have a legitimate interest in the preservation of the insured property or person. Explanation. Insurable interest means that the policyholder must have a legitimate financial interest in the preservation of the insured property or person. This principle ensures that insurance is used for risk protection and not for speculative or financial gain. The insured must stand to suffer a financial loss if the insured event occurs. Relevant law. The principle of insurable interest is a fundamental concept in insurance law, including Rhode Island regulations, ensuring that insurance contracts are valid and enforceable only when the policyholder has a legitimate interest in the subject of the insurance. Correct answer. B. Damage to a detached garage from a fallen tree. Explanation. An HO3 homeowner's insurance policy provides coverage for the dwelling and other structures on an open perils basis, meaning it covers all risks except those specifically excluded. Damage to a detached garage from a fallen tree is typically covered under the weather structures part of the policy, provided the cause of the damage, falling tree, is not excluded. Relevant law. Rhode Island homeowners insurance policies, including HO3 policies, follow standard coverage practices that protect dwellings and other structures from a broad range of perils, with specific exclusions such as earthquakes and floods. Correct answer. B. Loss due to wear and tear or gradual deterioration. Explanation. Inland marine insurance policies cover personal property in transit or movable property, providing protection against risks such as theft, accidental damage, and loss. However, common exclusions include losses due to wear and tear, gradual deterioration, inherent vice, and damage caused by pests. These exclusions ensure that coverage is provided for sudden and accidental losses, not predictable or preventable ones. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require that the terms, conditions, and exclusions of inland marine policies be clearly communicated to policyholders to avoid misunderstandings and ensure adequate protection. Correct answer. B. It provides excess coverage for the remaining liability above the underlying policy limits. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage that takes effect when the limits of the underlying homeowners or auto insurance policies are exhausted. It offers a higher level of protection against large claims or lawsuits, ensuring that the policyholder is covered beyond the primary policy limits. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines stipulate that personal umbrella policies function as excess liability coverage, activating once the primary policy limits are depleted to provide broader financial protection. Correct answer. B. NFIP policies provide coverage for both building and contents. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, offers flood insurance that provides separate coverage for building, property, and personal contents. Homeowners must purchase these policies separately from standard homeowners insurance, as flood damage is excluded from most homeowners policies. NFIP policies do have deductibles and are specifically designed to cover flood-related damages. Relevant law. The NFIP, established under the National Flood Insurance Act, provides federally backed flood insurance to help manage and mitigate flood risks. Rhode Island participates in the NFIP to ensure residents in flood-prone areas have access to necessary coverage. Correct answer. B. Separate maximum amounts payable for bodily injury per person, bodily injury per accident, and property damage per accident. Explanation. A split limit in an auto insurance policy specifies different maximum amounts that the insurer will pay for different types of claims resulting from a single accident. Typically, it includes 3 separate limits: the maximum payment for bodily injury per person, the maximum payment for bodily injury per accident, and the maximum payment for property damage per accident. This structure helps clarify the extent of coverage for different aspects of a claim. Relevant law. Rhode Island auto insurance regulations require insurers to clearly define the limits of liability coverage in policy documents, ensuring that policyholders understand the extent of their protection. Correct answer. D. HO5. Explanation. An HO5 homeowners insurance policy provides the broadest coverage for both the dwelling and personal property, offering open perils coverage. This means that it covers all risks of loss except those specifically excluded in the policy. HO5 policies typically offer more comprehensive protection compared to other policy forms such as HO1 or HO2, which cover only named perils. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations ensure that policyholders are informed about the different types of homeowners insurance policies available, including the extensive coverage provided by HO5 policies, allowing consumers to choose the policy that best meets their needs. Correct answer. D. Collision coverage, Part D. Explanation. Collision coverage, Part D, of a personal auto policy pays for repairs to the insured's vehicle in the event of an accident, regardless of who is at fault. This coverage is essential for protecting the policyholder's investment in their vehicle and ensuring they can cover repair costs after a collision. Relevant law. Rhode Island auto insurance regulations mandate that insurers offer collision coverage as an optional part of an auto insurance policy, providing financial protection for vehicle repairs following an accident. Correct answer. B. Reimbursement for additional living expenses if the home is uninhabitable. Explanation. Coverage D. Loss of use in a homeowner's insurance policy provides reimbursement for additional living expenses incurred if the insured home becomes uninhabitable due to covered peril. This includes expenses such as temporary housing, meals, and other necessary costs of living while the home is being repaired or rebuilt. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require that homeowners' insurance policies include loss of use coverage to ensure policyholders have financial assistance for additional living expenses in the event their home is rendered uninhabitable. Correct answer. C. A policyholder neglecting maintenance on their property because they have comprehensive insurance coverage. Explanation. A moral hazard in insurance refers to the increased likelihood of risky behavior by the insured because they are protected by insurance. In this case, the policyholder neglects maintenance on their property because they rely on their comprehensive insurance coverage to handle any resulting issues. Demonstrating a moral hazard. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines recognize moral hazard as a significant concern, emphasizing the importance of underwriting and policy conditions to mitigate such risks and ensure responsible behavior by policyholders. Correct answer. B. Evaluating and processing claims submitted by policyholders. Explanation. An insurance claims adjuster is responsible for evaluating and processing claims submitted by policyholders. This includes investigating the circumstances of the claim, assessing the extent of the loss or damage, and determining the appropriate settlement amount. Adjusters ensure that claims are handled fairly and efficiently. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require claims adjusters to be licensed and adhere to ethical standards and practices to protect the interests of both policyholders and insurers. Correct answer. C. Flood damage to the home. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies typically exclude flood damage, requiring homeowners to purchase separate flood insurance, often through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, to protect against flood-related losses. Other common perils like theft, liability, and fire damage are generally covered under standard policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations follow the national standard that excludes flood coverage from standard homeowners policies, promoting the purchase of specialized flood insurance for comprehensive protection against such risks. Correct answer. C. Watercraft insurance policy. Explanation. A watercraft insurance policy specifically covers boats and other watercraft, providing protection against risks such as physical damage, theft, liability, and medical payments. Homeowners and auto policies typically do not cover watercraft, necessitating a separate policy to ensure comprehensive coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations specify the need for watercraft insurance to adequately protect owners of boats and other watercraft from unique risks associated with these vehicles. Correct answer. A. Both the insurer and insured must act honestly and disclose all relevant information. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith in insurance requires both parties, the insurer and the insured, to act honestly and fully disclose all material facts relevant to the insurance contract. This ensures transparency and trust, allowing the insurer to accurately assess risk and the insured to receive appropriate coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations uphold the principle of utmost good faith, mandating that both insurers and policyholders engage in fair and honest practices to maintain the integrity of insurance contracts. Question 31. What is the primary purpose of the Rhode Island Guarantee Association? A. To regulate insurance premium rates. B. To provide coverage for high-risk individuals who cannot obtain insurance elsewhere. C. To pay claims of insolvent insurance companies. D. To provide financial planning advice to policyholders. Question 32. Under a personal auto policy in Rhode Island, which coverage would pay for injuries sustained by a pedestrian hit by the insured vehicle? A. Collision coverage. B. Liability coverage, Part C. Comprehensive coverage. D. Uninsured motorist coverage, Part C. Question 33. Which of the following is typically excluded from coverage under a Rhode Island homeowners insurance policy? A. Fire damage. B. Theft of personal property. C. Earthquake damage. D. Liability for injuries to guests. Question 34. In Rhode Island, what is the waiting period before a newly purchased flood insurance policy comes effective? A. 7 days. B. 14 days. C. 30 days. D. 60 days. Question 35. Which of the following best describes a binder in the context of Rhode Island personal lines insurance? A. A temporary contract that provides insurance coverage until a formal policy is issued. B. A document listing exclusions in an insurance policy. C. A receipt for payment of an insurance premium. D. A policy endorsement that adds additional coverage. Question 36. Which type of insurance policy would be most appropriate for a Rhode Island resident who rents an apartment? A. Homeowner's insurance. B. Personal auto policy. C. Renter's insurance. D. Personal umbrella policy. Question 37. Which of the following perils is typically covered under a standard Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. War. B. Nuclear hazard. C. Theft. D. Flood. Question 38. For a Rhode Island resident, what is the main benefit of purchasing uninsured motorist coverage? A. Coverage for physical damage to the insured's vehicle. B. Payment for medical expenses and damages when the at-fault driver has no insurance. C. Reduced premiums on their auto insurance policy. D. Legal defense in the event of a lawsuit. Question 39. Which of the following describes a peril in the context of insurance? A. The cause of a possible loss. B. The value of the insured property. C. The amount paid by the insurer for a loss. D. The probability of a loss occurring. Question 40. Which of the following best explains the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. Insurance should provide coverage regardless of the policyholder's actions. B. Policyholders should profit from their insurance claims. C. Insurance should restore the policyholder to the same financial position as before the loss. D. Policyholders should pay premiums based on their ability to pay. Question 40. Which of the following best explains the principle of indemnity in personal lines insurance? A. Insurance should provide coverage regardless of the policyholder's actions. B. Policyholders should profit from their insurance claims. C. Insurance should restore the policyholder to the same financial position as before the loss. D. Policyholders should pay premiums based on their ability to pay. Question 42. Which of the following is typically considered a named peril in a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Neglect. B. Ordinance or law. C. Vandalism. D. Earth movement. Question 43. In Rhode Island, what does the HOF4 policy typically cover? A. The building structure and personal property of a homeowner. B. The building structure of a rental property and personal property of the tenant. C. The personal property and liability of a tenant. D. The personal property of a condominium owner. Question 44. Which of the following is a key characteristic of a personal articles floater in Rhode Island? A. It provides blanket coverage for all personal property in the home. B. It insures high-value items on a scheduled basis. C. It extends liability coverage to additional residences. D. It covers personal property for actual cash value only. Question 45. Which of the following is NOT typically a factor in determining auto insurance premiums in Rhode Island? A. The insured's driving history. B. The make and model of the insured vehicle. C. The insured's favorite color. D. The insured's age and gender. Question 46. In a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy, what does coverage be? Other structures typically cover A. Detached garages, sheds, and fences. B. The primary dwelling structure. C. Personal property within the home. D. Additional living expenses. Question 47. What is the purpose of the Rhode Island FAIR plan? A. To provide insurance coverage to high-risk drivers. B. To offer health insurance to low-income residents. C. To provide property insurance to individuals who cannot obtain it through the standard market. D. To offer discounted insurance premiums to senior citizens. Question 48. In Rhode Island, which coverage would protect a homeowner against lawsuits for injuries occurring on their property? A. Coverage A. Dwelling. B. Coverage C. Personal property. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. D. Coverage F. Medical payments to others. Question 49. Which of the following is a feature of Rhode Island's health insurance marketplace under the Affordable Care Act? A. Coverage for pre-existing conditions is excluded. B. Premiums are determined based solely on age and gender. C. Subsidies are available to help lower-income individuals afford coverage. D. Only group health plans are available. Question 50. Which of the following best describes the purpose of insurance underwriting? A. To sell insurance policies to customers. B. To evaluate and accept or reject insurance applications. C. To handle claims and settle disputes. D. To provide customer service to policyholders. Question 51. In Rhode Island, what is the minimum liability coverage limit for bodily injury per person required by law for auto insurance policies? A. $10,000. B. $25,000. C. $50,000. D. $100,000. Question 52. What does an HOS-6 policy cover for condominium owners in Rhode Island? A. The building structure and land. B. Common areas and shared facilities. C. The unit owner's personal property and interior fixtures. D. The exterior structure and roof. Question 53. In Rhode Island, what does the term insurable interest refer to in the context of personal lines insurance? A. The maximum amount an insurer will pay for a claim. B. The financial stake an individual has in the property insured. C. The premium paid by the policyholder. D. The list of perils covered by the policy. Question 54. Which of the following types of property is typically covered under Rhode Island inland marine policy? A. Automobiles. B. Real estate. C. Jewelry and fine art. D. Business inventory. Question 55. Which Rhode Island insurance policy would provide coverage if a homeowner's pet bites a neighbor and the neighbor sues for medical expenses? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's insurance policy. C. Renter's insurance policy. D. Personal umbrella policy. Question 56. In Rhode Island, which of the following is an example of an additional living expense covered under a homeowner's insurance policy? A. The cost to repair a damaged fence. B. Medical expenses for an injured guest. C. Hotel bills and restaurant meals while the home is being repaired. D. Legal fees for a liability lawsuit. Question 57. Under Rhode Island law, which type of insurance agent has the authority to bind coverage on behalf of an insurer? A. Captive agent. B. Independent agent. C. Broker. D. Surplus lines agent. Question 58. Which of the following statements is true regarding the principle of utmost good faith in insurance contracts? A. Only the insurer is required to act in good faith. B. Both parties must disclose all material facts truthfully. C. The principle applies only to life insurance contracts. D. It allows the policyholder to conceal information to get better rates. Question 59. Which type of insurance policy in Rhode Island would typically cover damage to personal watercraft? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's insurance policy. C. Watercraft insurance policy. D. Personal umbrella policy. Question 60. Which of the following scenarios would most likely be covered by uninsured motorist coverage in Rhode Island? A. The insured's car is damaged by a falling tree. B. The insured is injured by a hit-and-run driver. C. The insured's car is stolen. D. The insured is sued for causing an accident. Correct answer. C. To pay claims of insolvent insurance companies. Explanation. The Rhode Island Guarantee Association is established to protect policyholders and claimants in the event that an insurance company becomes insolvent. The association pays the claims that the insolvent insurer would have otherwise been obligated to pay, ensuring policyholders do not suffer financial loss due to the insolvency. Correct answer. B. Liability coverage. Part explanation. Liability coverage. Part A. Under a personal auto policy pays for bodily injury and property damage that the insured causes to others in an auto accident. This includes injuries sustained by pedestrians hit by the insured vehicle, covering medical expenses and related costs. Relevant law. Rhode Island requires drivers to carry liability coverage to ensure that victims of auto accidents, including pedestrians, are compensated for injuries and damages caused by the insured. Correct answer. C. Earthquake damage. Explanation. Standard homeowners insurance policies usually exclude coverage for earthquake damage. Homeowners need to purchase a separate earthquake insurance policy or an endorsement to their homeowner's policy to protect against earthquake-related losses. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations follow the standard practice of excluding earthquake damage from basic homeowners insurance policies, promoting the purchase of specialized coverage for such risks. Correct answer. C. 30 days. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, generally imposes a 30-day waiting period from the date of purchase before a new flood insurance policy becomes effective. This waiting period helps prevent individuals from purchasing insurance in anticipation of an imminent flood event. Relevant law. The 30-day waiting period for flood insurance policies is a federal requirement under the NFIP, which is also applicable to Rhode Island residents to mitigate adverse selection. Correct answer. A temporary contract that provides insurance coverage until a formal policy is issued. Explanation. A binder is a temporary insurance contract that provides immediate coverage while the formal policy is being processed and issued. It serves as proof of insurance and ensures that the policyholder is protected from the moment they apply for coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations recognize binders as legally binding contracts that offer temporary coverage, ensuring policyholders are not left without protection during the underwriting process. Correct answer. C. Renter's insurance. Explanation. Renter's insurance is designed for individuals who rent their living space. It provides coverage for personal property, liability protection, and additional living expenses in the event the rental becomes uninhabitable due to covered peril. Unlike homeowners insurance, it does not cover the building itself, which is the landlord's responsibility. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations outline the necessity and benefits of renter's insurance, ensuring tenants understand their options for protecting personal property and liability. Correct answer. C. Theft. Explanation. A standard homeowner's insurance policy typically covers theft, providing protection for stolen personal property. However, perils such as war, nuclear hazard, and flood are generally excluded and require separate or additional coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations follow national standards, ensuring that standard homeowners policies cover common perils like theft while excluding others like war and nuclear hazards. Correct answer. B. Payment for medical expenses and damages when the at-fault driver has no insurance. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage provides protection for the insured in the event they are involved in an accident with a driver who has no insurance. It covers medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages that the at-fault driver would have been responsible for. Relevant law. Rhode Island law requires insurers to offer uninsured motorist coverage to protect policyholders from financial losses resulting from accidents with uninsured drivers. Correct answer. A. The cause of a possible loss. Explanation. A peril is defined as a specific cause of loss covered by an insurance policy. Examples of perils include fire, theft, windstorm, and hail. Understanding perils helps policyholders and insurers determine what types of losses are covered under a policy. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance policies define and list covered perils, ensuring policyholders are aware of the risks their policies protect against. Correct answer. C. Insurance should restore the policyholder to the same financial position as before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity aims to make the policyholder whole again by compensating them for their loss without allowing them to profit from the insurance claim. This ensures that the purpose of insurance is to provide financial protection and not to generate profit for the insured. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations uphold the principle of indemnity, ensuring that claims are settled fairly and policyholders are restored to their pre-loss financial condition. Correct answer. C. Self-insured retention. Explanation. Self-insured retention, sir, is the amount that the insured must pay out of pocket before the personal umbrella policy provides coverage for a claim that is not covered by any underlying insurance policies. It functions similarly to a deductible but specifically applies to umbrella policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance policies, including personal umbrella policies, define SIR requirements to ensure policyholders understand their financial responsibilities before umbrella coverage applies. Correct answer. C. Vandalism. Explanation. Vandalism is typically listed as a named peril in standard homeowners insurance policies, meaning it is specifically covered. Named perils are explicitly listed in the policy as covered events, while perils like neglect, ordinance, or law, and earth movement are usually excluded or require additional coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island homeowners insurance policies follow standard practices in defining and listing named perils, ensuring that policyholders know what events are covered. Correct answer. C. The personal property and liability of a tenant. Explanation. An HA4 policy, also known as renter's insurance, covers the personal property and liability of a tenant. It does not cover the building structure itself, as that is typically the responsibility of the landlord. The policy also provides additional living expenses if the rental becomes uninhabitable due to a covered peril. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations outline the scope of renter's insurance, ensuring tenants understand the coverage provided for their personal property and liability. Correct answer. B. It insures high-value items on a scheduled basis. Explanation. A personal articles floater, PAF, provides coverage for high-value items such as jewelry, fine art, and collectibles on a scheduled basis. Each item is listed separately with an agreed-upon value, offering broader coverage than standard homeowners policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines recommend personal articles floaters for valuable items, ensuring policyholders receive adequate protection for their high-value possessions. Correct answer. C. The insured's favorite color. Explanation. Factors such as driving history, vehicle make and model, age, and gender are commonly used to determine auto insurance premiums, as they are indicative of risk. The insured's favorite color has no bearing on risk and is not considered when calculating premiums. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations ensure that premium calculations are based on relevant risk factors to provide fair and accurate pricing for auto insurance. Correct answer. A. Detached garages, sheds, and fences. Explanation. Coverage B. Other structures in a homeowner's insurance policy provides protection for structures on the insured property that are not attached to the primary dwelling, such as detached garages, sheds, and fences. This coverage is separate from coverage A, which protects the main dwelling. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance policies define coverage B to ensure homeowners understand the protection provided for detached structures on their property. Correct answer. C. To provide property insurance to individuals who cannot obtain it through the standard market. Explanation. The Rhode Island FAIR plan, Fair Access to Insurance Requirements, offers property insurance to individuals and businesses who are unable to secure coverage through the standard insurance market due to their high-risk status. This program ensures that essential property insurance is accessible to all residents. Relevant law. The Rhode Island FAIR plan is mandated by state law to provide a safety net for those who have difficulty obtaining property insurance, promoting broader insurance availability, and protecting property owners. Correct answer. C. Coverage E. Personal liability. Explanation. Coverage E. Personal liability in a homeowner's insurance policy provides protection against lawsuits for bodily injury or property damage that the policyholder or their family members cause to others. It covers legal defense costs and any resulting judgments or settlements. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require that homeowners insurance policies include personal liability coverage to protect policyholders from financial loss due to legal claims. Correct answer. C. Subsidies are available to help lower-income individuals afford coverage. Explanation. The Affordable Care Act, ACAT, provides subsidies to lower-income individuals and families to help make health insurance more affordable. These subsidies are based on income and household size and are available through Rhode Island's health insurance marketplace. Relevant law. The ACA mandates that state health insurance marketplaces offer subsidies to ensure that all individuals have access to affordable health coverage, promoting broad participation and reducing the number of uninsured residents. Correct answer. B. To evaluate and accept or reject insurance applications. Explanation. Insurance underwriting is the process of evaluating risk and determining whether to accept or reject an insurance application. Underwriters assess various factors, such as the applicant's history and the nature of the risk, to set appropriate premium rates and coverage terms. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations ensure that underwriting practices are fair and based on sound risk assessment principles. protecting both insurers and policyholders. Correct answer. B. $25,000 explanation. Rhode Island law requires auto insurance policies to have a minimum liability coverage limit of $25,000 for bodily injury per person. This ensures that sufficient funds are available to compensate individuals injured in an accident caused by the insured driver. Relevant law. Rhode Island General Laws SS 3147 to mandate minimum liability coverage limits to protect the public and ensure that victims of auto accidents receive adequate compensation for their injuries. Correct answer. C. The unit owner's personal property and interior fixtures. Explanation. An HA6 policy, also known as condominium insurance, covers the personal property and interior fixtures of a condominium unit owner. This includes built-in appliances, cabinets, and sometimes improvements and alterations made to the unit. It does not cover the exterior structure, which is typically insured by the condominium association's master policy. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations specify the coverage requirements for HA6 policies, ensuring that condominium owners are protected for their personal property and interior unit contents. Correct answer. C. The unit owner's personal property and interior fixtures. Explanation. An HA6 policy, also known as condominium insurance, covers the personal property and interior fixtures of a condominium unit owner. This includes built-in appliances, cabinets, and sometimes improvements and alterations made to the unit. It does not cover the exterior structure, which is typically insured by the condominium association's master policy. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations specify the coverage requirements for HA6 policies, ensuring that condominium owners are protected for their personal property and interior unit contents. Correct answer. C. Jewelry and fine art. Explanation. Inland marine policies typically cover high-value personal property such as jewelry, fine art, and collectibles. These policies offer broader protection and often higher coverage limits for items that may not be adequately covered under standard homeowners or renters insurance policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations outline the scope of inland marine policies, ensuring policyholders receive appropriate coverage for their valuable personal property. Correct answer. B. Homeowners insurance policy. Explanation. A homeowner's insurance policy typically includes personal liability coverage, which provides protection if a homeowner's pet bites someone and the injured party sues for medical expenses. This coverage helps pay for legal defense costs and any resulting settlements or judgments. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require homeowners insurance policies to include liability coverage to protect policyholders from various legal claims, including those arising from pet-related injuries. Correct answer. B. Homeowners insurance policy. Explanation. A homeowner's insurance policy typically includes personal liability coverage, which provides protection if a homeowner's pet bites someone and the injured party sues for medical expenses. This coverage helps pay for legal defense costs and any resulting settlements or judgments. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require homeowners insurance policies to include liability coverage to protect policyholders from various legal claims, including those arising from pet-related injuries. Correct answer. A captive agent. Explanation. A captive agent, who represents a single insurance company, typically has the authority to bind coverage on behalf of the insurer. This means they can provide immediate coverage to the policyholder until a formal policy is issued. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations recognize the binding authority of captive agents, ensuring that policyholders receive prompt coverage while awaiting their formal policy documents. Correct answer. B. Both parties must disclose all material facts truthfully. Explanation. The principle of utmost good faith requires both the insurer and the insured to disclose all material facts truthfully when entering into an insurance contract. This ensures that both parties have accurate information to assess and accept the risk fairly. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance laws uphold the principle of utmost good faith to maintain trust and integrity in insurance transactions, preventing fraud and misrepresentation. Correct answer. C. Watercraft insurance policy. Explanation. A watercraft insurance policy specifically covers damage to personal watercraft, including boats and jet skis. It provides protection against various risks such as theft, accidents, and natural disasters, which are not typically covered under auto or homeowners insurance policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations recommend specialized watercraft insurance to ensure adequate protection for personal watercraft and related liabilities. Correct answer. B. The insured is injured by a hit-and-run driver. Explanation. Uninsured motorist coverage provides protection if the insured is injured by a driver who has no insurance or is involved in a hit-and-run accident. Covers medical expenses, lost wages, and other damages that would have been paid by the at-fault driver's insurance if they had coverage. Relevant law. Rhode Island law mandates the offer of uninsured motorist coverage to ensure policyholders are protected in accidents involving uninsured or unidentified drivers. Question 61. What is the primary purpose of a personal umbrella policy in Rhode Island? A. To cover damages to the insured's personal property. B. To provide additional liability coverage above the limits of underlying policies. C. To replace the need for homeowners insurance. D. To offer health insurance benefits. Question 62. In Rhode Island, which of the following types of insurance is most likely to cover the cost of medical expenses for guests injured on the insured's property? A. Personal auto policy. B. A homeowner's insurance policy. C. Renter's insurance policy. D. Personal articles floater. Question 63. Which Rhode Island insurance policy would provide coverage if a tree falls on a homeowner's car parked in their driveway? A. Personal auto policy. B. A homeowner's insurance policy. C. Renter's insurance policy. D. Personal umbrella policy. Question 64. Which of the following is a characteristic of replacement cost coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. It pays the current market value of the damaged property. B. It pays the cost to replace the damaged property with a new item of similar kind and quality. C. It pays the depreciated value of the damaged property. D. It pays a fixed amount regardless of the actual loss. Question 65. Which of the following is an exclusion commonly found in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire damage. B. Theft. C. Flood damage. D. Windstorm damage. Question 66. In Rhode Island, which type of insurance policy would be best suited to cover the loss of a diamond ring valued at $10,000? A. Personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's insurance policy. C. Personal articles floater. D. Dwelling policy. Question 67. What is the main benefit of the inflation guard endorsement in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. It reduces the policy premium over time. B. It increases coverage limits automatically to keep pace with inflation. C. It provides coverage for newly acquired items without additional premium. D. It waives the deductible for certain claims. Question 68. In Rhode Island, what type of insurance policy typically provides coverage for damage caused by an earthquake? A. Standard homeowner's insurance policy. B. Earthquake insurance policy. C. Personal umbrella policy. D. Inland marine policy. Question 69. Which of the following best describes the principle of indemnity in insurance? A. The insurer guarantees profit to the policyholder. B. The insurer restores the policyholder to their financial position before the loss. C. The insurer reimburses the policyholder for the purchase of new items. D. The insurer pays out a fixed amount regardless of the actual loss. Question 70. Which of the following is a typical exclusion in a Rhode Island personal umbrella policy? A. Liability arising from personal injury. B. Liability arising from business activities. C. Liability arising from auto accidents. D. Liability arising from property damage. Question 71. In Rhode Island, what is a key difference between a U2 and a D3 dwelling policy? The D-Pit 2 covers named perils, while D-Pit 3 covers open perils. B. D-Pit 2 covers only personal property, while D-Pit 3 covers the dwelling. C. D-Pit 2 is for renters, while D-Pit 3 is for homeowners. D. D-Pit 2 has higher coverage limits than D-Pit 3. Question 72. Which of the following is a common feature of the Rhode Island National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP? A. It provides coverage for flood damage under standard homeowners policies. B. It offers federally backed flood insurance to homeowners, renters, and businesses. C. It covers flood damage caused by sewer backups only. D. It guarantees replacement cost coverage for all insured properties. Question 73. Which of the following describes a situation where Rhode Island personal liability insurance would typically provide coverage? A. The insured's car is damaged in an accident. B. The insured accidentally damages a neighbor's property. C. The insured's home is damaged by a fire. D. The insured's jewelry is stolen from their home. Question 74. Which of the following is true regarding the leather structures coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. It covers only structures attached to the main dwelling. B. It includes coverage for landscaping on the insured property. C. It covers damage caused by earthquakes. D. It provides coverage for personal property inside the insured home. Question 75. Which of the following is a characteristic of the loss of use coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. It reimburses the insured for the current market value of damaged property. B. It provides coverage for additional living expenses while the home is being repaired. C. It pays medical expenses for injured guests on the insured property. D. It covers damage caused by natural disasters. Question 76. Which of the following best describes the purpose of the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, in Rhode Island? A. To provide free flood insurance to homeowners. B. To offer flood insurance policies that cover all types of property damage. C. To reduce the financial burden of flood losses on communities. D. To mandate flood insurance for all homeowners. Question 77. Which of the following is typically covered under Rhode Island dwelling policy? D. Pit 3. A. Personal property inside the dwelling. B. Additional living expenses incurred after covered loss. C. Damage to the dwelling caused by named perils. D. Liability for injuries to guests on the insured property. Question 78. Which of the following is true regarding the medical payments to others coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy? A. It covers medical expenses for the insured's family members only. B. It provides coverage for medical expenses regardless of fault. C. It reimburses the insured for medical bills related to personal injuries. D. It pays for medical treatments outside the insured's home stay. Question 79. Which of the following best describes the purpose of endorsements in Rhode Island insurance policies? A. To provide temporary coverage during policy lapses. B. To exclude coverage for specific perils. C. To modify or add coverage beyond the standard policy terms. D. To adjust the policy premium based on loss history. Question 80. Which of the following statements is true regarding the self-insured retention ECA Rhode Island personal umbrella policy? A. It is a deductible amount that the insured must pay for each covered loss. B. It provides coverage for losses that exceed the limits of underlying policies. C. It allows the insured to self-insure certain perils without purchasing additional coverage. D. It covers medical expenses for injuries sustained by the insured's family members. Question 81. Which of the following best describes the purpose of the underinsured motorist coverage ECA Rhode Island personal auto policy? A. To provide coverage for damage to the insured's vehicle caused by a hit-and-run driver. B. To cover medical expenses for passengers injured in the insured's vehicle. C. To provide coverage if the insured is injured by a driver with insufficient insurance. D. To reimburse the insured for the current market value of a totaled vehicle. Question 82. In Rhode Island, which type of insurance policy would cover a valuable piece of artwork owned by the insured? A personal auto policy. B. Homeowner's insurance policy. C. Personal articles floater. D. Dwelling policy. Question 83. Which of the following statements is true regarding the deductible in an insurance policy? A. It is the maximum amount the insured must pay out of pocket for covered losses. B. It represents the minimum amount the insured must pay for insurance premiums. C. It is the percentage of a claim that the insured must cover before the insurer pays. D. It is the initial amount of each covered loss that the insured must pay. Question 84. Which of the following is a primary role of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NIC, in the United States? A. To provide insurance coverage to low-income individuals. B. To regulate insurance rates across all states uniformly. C. To develop model laws and regulations for insurance practices. D. To investigate insurance fraud cases nationwide. Question 85. Which of the following best describes the purpose of the most good faith principle in insurance contracts? A. To require insurers to disclose policy terms clearly to policyholders. B. To ensure that policyholders pay their premiums on time. C. To require both parties to act honestly and fairly in all dealings. D. To prevent insurers from canceling policies for claims unrelated to the insured risk. Question 86. Which of the following is a key characteristic of the named perils coverage in a Rhode Island insurance policy? A. It covers all perils except those specifically excluded. B. It provides coverage for losses caused by any peril not listed in the policy. C. It covers losses caused by perils specifically listed in the policy. D. It adjusts coverage limits automatically based on inflation. Question 87. Which of the following is typically excluded from coverage in a Rhode Island homeowners insurance policy? A. Theft of personal property. B. Liability for guest injuries. C. Earthquake damage. D. Fire damage. Question 88. Which of the following statements is true regarding the duties after loss provision in a Rhode Island personal auto policy? A. It requires the insured to notify the insurer immediately after an accident. B. It obligates the insured to repair their vehicle at a specified repair shop. C. It allows the insured to delay filing a claim indefinitely. D. It mandates the insured to pay for damages caused to other vehicles. Question 89. Which of the following best describes the purpose of the fair rental value coverage in a Rhode Island dwelling policy? A. To reimburse the insured for rental income lost due to covered loss. B. To cover medical expenses for tenants living in the insured property. C. To pay for damages to rented properties caused by the insured. D. To replace personal property lost in a rental property. Question 90. Which of the following is the purpose of the loss settlement provision in a Rhode Island insurance policy? A. To determine the maximum coverage limit for the insured property. B. To establish the insurer's liability for covered losses. C. To specify the deductible amount applicable to each claim. D. To offer discounts on premiums for claim-free policyholders. Correct answer. B. To provide additional liability coverage above the limits of underlying policies. Explanation. A personal umbrella policy provides additional liability coverage above the limits of the insured's underlying homeowners, auto, or other personal insurance policies. It offers extra protection against significant claims and lawsuits. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines promote the use of umbrella policies for added liability protection, ensuring policyholders have sufficient coverage in the event of large or catastrophic claims. Correct answer. B. Homeowners insurance policy. Explanation. A homeowner's insurance policy includes medical payments to others. Coverage F, which pays for medical expenses incurred by guests who are injured on the insured's property, regardless of fault. This coverage helps avoid lawsuits by providing immediate compensation for injuries. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require homeowners insurance policies to include medical payments coverage to protect policyholders and provide for the immediate care of injured guests. Correct answer. A personal auto policy. Explanation. A personal auto policy with comprehensive coverage would cover damage to the insured vehicle caused by a falling tree. Homeowners insurance does not typically cover damage to vehicles. It covers damage to the dwelling and other structures on the property. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines define the scope of coverage for personal auto policies. Insuring vehicles are protected against various risks, including natural disasters and falling objects. Correct answer. B. It pays the cost to replace the damaged property with a new item of similar kind and quality. Explanation. Replacement cost coverage reimburses the insured for the cost to replace damaged property with new items of similar kind and quality without deducting for depreciation. This ensures that the policyholder can restore their property to its pre-loss condition. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require clear definitions of replacement cost coverage to help policyholders understand their coverage options and ensure adequate protection. Correct answer. C. Flood damage. Explanation. Flood damage is typically excluded from standard homeowners insurance policies and requires a separate flood insurance policy. often through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. Standard policies cover perils like fire, theft, and windstorm damage. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations mandate that insurers clearly state exclusions in homeowners insurance policies to ensure policyholders understand the limitations of their coverage. Correct answer. C. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater is designed to cover high-value items like jewelry, providing specific coverage for each item listed. This policy offers broader protection and higher coverage limits than a standard homeowners insurance policy. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations recommend personal articles floaters for valuable personal property, ensuring adequate protection beyond the limits of standard policies. Correct answer. B. It increases coverage limits automatically to keep pace with inflation. Explanation. The inflation guard endorsement automatically adjusts the coverage limits of a homeowner's insurance policy to keep pace with inflation. This ensures that the insured property remains adequately covered as replacement costs increase over time. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations support the use of inflation guard endorsements to maintain appropriate coverage levels and protect policyholders from the effects of inflation on rebuilding costs. Correct answer. B. Earthquake insurance policy. Explanation. Damage caused by earthquakes is typically not covered under standard homeowners insurance policies. A separate earthquake insurance policy is required to provide coverage for losses resulting from seismic events. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines recommend that homeowners in earthquake-prone areas consider purchasing earthquake insurance to ensure protection against seismic risks. Correct answer. B. The insurer restores the policyholder to their financial position before the loss. Explanation. The principle of indemnity ensures that the insured is restored to their financial position before the loss occurred, without profiting from the insurance claim. This principle is fundamental to all types of insurance, including property and casualty. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations uphold the principle of indemnity to prevent moral hazard and ensure that insurance provides fair compensation for covered losses. Correct answer. 70. B. Liability arising from business activities. Explanation. Personal umbrella policies typically exclude liability arising from business activities, as these are considered commercial risks. Coverage is generally intended for personal liability above the limits of homeowners and auto policies. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require that exclusions in personal umbrella policies be clearly stated to ensure policyholders understand the limitations of their coverage. Correct answer. A. DPID 2 covers named perils, while DPID 3 covers open perils. Explanation. A D2 dwelling policy covers named perils specifically listed in the policy, while a D3 dwelling policy provides open perils coverage, which means it covers all perils except those specifically excluded. This generally makes DPID 3 policies more comprehensive. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines differentiate between named and open perils coverage to help policyholders choose the appropriate level of protection for their properties. Correct answer. B. It offers federally backed flood insurance to homeowners, renters, and businesses. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, provides federally backed flood insurance to homeowners, renters, and businesses in participating communities. This program helps manage and mitigate flood risks by offering coverage for flood-related damages. Correct answer. B. The insured accidentally damages a neighbor's property. Explanation. Rhode Island personal liability insurance typically covers situations where the insured is legally responsible for accidentally causing property damage or bodily injury to others. This coverage helps pay for legal defense costs and damages awarded in a liability lawsuit. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require personal liability insurance to protect policyholders from financial losses due to liability claims, including property damage caused unintentionally. Correct answer. B. It includes coverage for landscaping on the insured property. Explanation. The leather structures coverage in a Rhode Island homeowners insurance policy includes coverage for structures on the insured property that are not attached to the main dwelling, such as fences, sheds, and landscaping features. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations define the scope of other structures coverage to ensure policyholders understand what property is covered under their homeowners insurance policy. Correct answer. B. It provides coverage for additional living expenses while the home is being repaired. Explanation. Loss of use coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy reimburses the insured for additional living expenses incurred if their home is uninhabitable due to covered loss such as fire or storm damage. This coverage helps maintain the insured's standard of living during the repair or rebuilding process. Correct answer. C. To reduce the financial burden of flood losses on communities. Explanation. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, aims to reduce the financial burden of flood losses on communities by providing affordable flood insurance to property owners in participating communities. It encourages floodplain management practices to mitigate flood risks. Relevant law. Rhode Island participates in the NFIP to protect homeowners and businesses from flood-related financial losses and promote community resilience against flooding. Correct answer. C. Damage to the dwelling caused by named perils. Explanation. A Rhode Island dwelling policy, DPIT 3, typically covers damage to the dwelling caused by named perils listed in the policy. This includes perils like fire, lightning, windstorm, hail, and other specified risks. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations outline the coverage provided by dwelling policies, DPIT 3, to ensure property owners have adequate protection against specified perils that could damage their dwellings. Correct answer. B. It provides coverage for medical expenses regardless of fall. Explanation. Medical payments to others coverage in a Rhode Island homeowner's insurance policy pays for reasonable medical expenses incurred by guests who are accidentally injured on the insured property, regardless of fall. It aims to prevent liability lawsuits by promptly covering medical bills. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations require homeowners' insurance policies to include medical payments to others coverage to protect policyholders from liability claims arising from guest injuries on their property. Correct answer. C. To modify or add coverage beyond the standard policy terms. Explanation. Endorsements in Rhode Island insurance policies are used to modify or add coverage beyond the standard terms of the policy. They can tailor the policy to meet specific needs or provide additional protections not included in the base policy. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations allow insurers to offer endorsements that enhance or customize coverage to better meet the needs of policyholders, ensuring flexibility and insurance protection. Correct answer. A. It is a deductible amount that the insured must pay for each covered loss. Explanation. The self-insured retention in a Rhode Island personal umbrella policy is similar to a deductible in that it is the amount the insured must pay out of pocket for each covered loss before the umbrella coverage kicks in. It helps reduce premium costs by requiring the insured to share in the risk. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance regulations allow insurers to offer personal umbrella policies with self-insured retentions, providing additional liability coverage above underlying policies while requiring the insured's financial participation in each claim. Correct answer. C. To provide coverage if the insured is injured by a driver with insufficient insurance. Explanation. Underinsured motorist coverage in a Rhode Island personal auto policy provides coverage if the insured is injured in an accident caused by a driver who has insurance but not enough coverage to fully compensate for the insured's injuries. It helps bridge the gap between the at-fault driver's liability limits and the insured's actual damages. Relevant law. Rhode Island law mandates the offer of underinsured motorist coverage to protect insured individuals from financial losses due to accidents with drivers who have inadequate insurance coverage. Correct answer. C. Personal articles floater. Explanation. A personal articles floater is designed to provide coverage for specific valuable items such as artwork, jewelry, or collectibles, which may exceed the coverage limits of a standard homeowner's insurance policy. It offers broader protection and can be tailored to the specific value of each item. Relevant law. Rhode Island insurance guidelines recommend personal articles floaters for high-value items to ensure adequate coverage and protection against loss or damage beyond the limits of standard policies. Correct answer. D. It is the initial amount of each covered loss that the insured must pay. Explanation. The deductible in an insurance policy is the initial amount of money that the insured must pay out of pocket before the insurance coverage kicks in. It helps insurers reduce costs by sharing the risk with policyholders and encourages responsible behavior by insured individuals. Relevant law. In Rhode Island, insurance regulations specify how deductibles should be applied in insurance policies to ensure transparency and fair treatment of policyholders. Deductibles vary by policy type and coverage level, impacting the cost of premiums and the insured's financial responsibility in the event of a claim. Correct answer: C. To develop model laws and regulations for insurance practices. Explanation: the NAIC develops model laws and regulations for insurance practices across the United States. These models serve as guidelines for state insurance regulators to adopt and adapt according to their specific needs and market conditions. Relevant law: Rhode Island participates in the NAIC's efforts to establish consistent insurance standards nationwide, promoting consumer protection and regulatory efficiency in the insurance industry. Correct answer: C. To require both parties to act honestly and fairly in all dealings. Explanation: the principle of utmost good faith, uberrimi fide, in insurance contracts requires both the insurer and the insured to act honestly and disclose all relevant information to each other. This principle ensures transparency and fairness in insurance transactions. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations uphold the principle of utmost good faith to maintain trust and integrity in insurance contracts, reducing the risk of disputes and ensuring that both parties meet their obligations honestly and fairly. Correct answer: C. It covers losses caused by perils specifically listed in the policy. Explanation: named perils coverage in a Rhode Island insurance policy specifies the perils or risks that are covered under the policy. If a peril is not specifically named, it is not covered. This coverage option provides clarity on what risks are insured against. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations allow insurers to offer named perils coverage to policyholders who prefer coverage for specific risks listed in the policy, ensuring clear expectations and coverage limitations. Correct answer: C. Earthquake damage. Explanation: earthquake damage is typically excluded from standard Rhode Island homeowners insurance policies. Policyholders must purchase separate earthquake insurance to obtain coverage for losses caused by seismic events. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations outline the exclusions and limitations in homeowners insurance policies to inform policyholders about the risks that are not covered under standard policies, including earthquake damage. Correct answer: A. It requires the insured to notify the insurer immediately after an accident. Explanation: the duties after a loss provision in a Rhode Island personal auto policy requires the insured to promptly notify the insurer after an accident or loss. This notification is crucial for the insurer to begin the claims process and investigate the incident. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations specify the obligations of insured individuals under the duties after a loss provision to ensure timely reporting of accidents and cooperation with the claims investigation process. Correct answer: A. To reimburse the insured for rental income loss due to covered loss. Explanation: fair rental value coverage in a Rhode Island dwelling policy reimburses the insured for rental income lost if a covered peril makes the rental property uninhabitable. This coverage helps landlords maintain their income stream during repairs or rebuilding. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations require dwelling policies to offer fair rental value coverage to protect property owners from financial losses due to rental property becoming uninhabitable after a covered loss. Correct answer: B. To establish the insurer's liability for covered losses. Explanation: the loss settlement provision in a Rhode Island insurance policy specifies how losses will be valued and settled by the insurer. It determines the method and amount of compensation the insured will receive for covered claims. Relevant law: Rhode Island insurance regulations require insurers to clearly define loss settlement provisions in insurance policies to ensure transparency and fairness in claim handling, helping policyholders understand how losses will be compensated.